I'm Jay Diff with the New Old Heads podcast, and this is episode 465, featuring guests Double A and Brotha2daKnight. This week we had discussions on Kendrick having 88 unreleased songs from GNX sessions, Andre 3000 co-signing Tyler, the Creator, Method Man turning down Drake's Wu-Tang Forever feature, and Sada Baby saying Eminem doesn't represent or support the people from Detroit. Support us and get the 2-hour uncut show by becoming a Patreon member. See you in the comments.
You are now tuned in to episode number 465 of the New Old Heads podcast. My name is Jay Moore, and I'm just kind of doing the intro from my man Maja Sevens, who's handling some other business right now, so shout out to him. And let's just get the show on the road. Shout out to some of the other folks in the building. In fact, all the folks in the building. Shout out to my man, DJ Jay Diff. How are you?
Salutations.
Okay.
All right.
And, we call him a guest, but he's not a guest at this point. Brotha2daKnight, how are you?
I am swell, good brother. How are you?
Doing well. And in the captain's chair, Lonegevity, he's pressing buttons and things. How are you, sir?
Doing all right, man.
Okay.
End of the semester is great.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Take a couple breathing weeks off. Yeah, but good.
Okay, that's what's up. And you know what? Here it is. We do have someone who is a special guest, who's sitting to my right or left, or however you're looking at things. Double A.
What's up, bro? I'm good.
Glad you could make it, and kind of build with us this evening.
I am too. I'm honored.
Okay. All right. That's what's up. Up.
Yeah, and also incredible MC and also owner of Naptown Thrift.
Thank you.
Say that.
A really dope store.
Appreciate you.
Thrift shop.
Yeah.
Thrifting. Not like Macklemore, but maybe like Macklemore a little bit,
Maybe a little bit. Hopefully slightly less corny at times.
Oh, wow.
Shout out Macklemore, though.
Yeah, but at this point, I mean, this is a staple in the community.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
what I mean?
Yeah, year 10.
Yeah.
That's
crazy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Year 10,
You don't
really?
even seem like that long.
Man.
Started it sophomore year at Butler, 2015.
Okay.
How long have you been in this particular spot? Is this 7 years?
Brick and mortar 7 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's still phenomenal.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
Thank
absolutely. So Kendrick Lamar would have no problem putting together multiple untitled, unmastered type projects for his GNX album if the Compton rap king felt like blessing his fans with new music. So in a new interview with Variety, reflecting on the making of his chart-topping, Grammy-winning project, Kendrick's longtime producer Soundwave revealed that between 80 and 100 songs were recorded for GNX, which is kind of crazy, and only 12 tracks made the final cut. So that brings up a question. And that question is there such a thing as overdoing it as an artist, where extreme volume or constant self-editing ultimately delays or even stifles the speed of output?
I can see it on both ends, but I also know that Prince and Michael Jackson kind of did the same thing, to where I think there was something like 100 songs recorded for Bad. There was something. It's always close to 100 for each of like the records, like Off the Wall. Not so much Off the Wall, but I remember when he was really trying to knock it out of the park, Thriller. Like there was, at one point he was very unhappy with the cut of Thriller and what was selected. And there's all these outtakes that are kind of floating around out there, not the internets. So I don't see this as something that is so outlandish, as far as Kendrick is concerned. Maybe there are other rappers that see it as such because they only have about 18 songs in them, when
Sure.
it's time for recording. But I know, and this is probably to his fault, Dr. Dre has, just songs by people. These are everybody.
Look out for Detox.
Yeah, right. And so like I don't think that this is the big deal that people make it. I think it's more common that a lot of people want to believe. I think that now a lot of rappers, especially in the hip, it's all this stream of consciousness music. And so it's like, okay, once that stream of consciousness is done, okay, those are the records we have for this project. So I don't, when I've seen the other commentary about this, and I don't think this is something so ridiculous. A lot of these songs probably might have just been skeletal,
Most likely,
frameworks of things that never really, got past the initial planning stages. That's a lot of how a lot of people record.
Yeah.
So,
it is.
I mean, good for Kendrick that you cut it down to what you did. But I think, when you look at artists from every genre out there, there are a lot of them that over record, the material for a particular project.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's kind of par for the course for an artist to over record what they need for a project. And then with Kendrick, I mean, one of his rap idols is Tupac. Everybody knows how Tupac recorded. Tupac was literally like always in the studio. Whenever you hear stories about him, he was always recording. And if you were supposed to be on the song, then whoever's here, if you weren't there, is going to be on the song because I'm just going to get the song done. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I think that's just something that artists do that are really particular about their art. They'll have a lot of stuff on the cutting room floor, and sometimes you hear it and sometimes you don't. I mean, he gave you, was that Untitled, which were pretty much what was left off of To Pimp a Butterfly, essentially, because it had the same sonic sound. You could tell they were trying to use it for something, and they just put it out. So, I mean, I think this is just typical as an artist that records a lot of music in order to kind of structure an album.
I could speak to it at a local level.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's several peers of mine who record a lot, and you sit on it long enough. I think what I struggle with sometimes is you sit on stuff long enough. How long does it take for you to start to hate it?
Yep.
And you move on and find yourself to be at a different place as an artist with the music you've already recorded, and you listen back to it and you're like, I don't think that represents me very well anymore.
Yeah.
And so you stack enough of that, and obviously there's going to be good ones within there. But my second thought is that, are we in a different time now with releasing music where mixtapes aren't as prevalent? But you think back to when somebody like Lil Wayne, like you said, like a Tupac who's in the studio 24/7, and then you have a Dat Piff outlet where you could just drop the Drought Part 1, 2, 3, dedication to, shit that from the Carter 2, 3 was just throwaways essentially, but you can put them in mixtape form and release them to the public. Now we don't really have those throwaway type outlets.
Yeah.
You wonder if we still did, or we were still in that culture, if Kendrick would have more mixtapes out,
Nah, that makes sense.
We do though. I mean, the game just essentially gave us a project this past week, like that.
The DJ Drama.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like you just put it on Apple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just release it to the people. And
is that too official though? You think sometimes?
Yeah, I think so. I think from an artist's perspective, like
they save that for their.
We're very particular about how our catalog looks.
Yes, for sure.
And so, like, if you just throw something, like even me, like I'm working on 3 projects right now, but I'm thinking about how I'm going to reveal this to make it aesthetically the way that it makes sense in my head. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's definitely part of it. And I think that I didn't even think about that, but just having random mixtapes, that was kind of a thing, man. You could just like throw them out. I think SoundCloud's kind of like that now too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it anymore has the same traction I think that it once did.
I don't think for an artist such as like a Kendrick or a mainstream artist like that, I don't think so. But it's definitely kind of like had a resurgence of young underground, like a second, because when SoundCloud rap kind of became a thing, there's a whole nother group of children under that are dropping stuff now.
Yeah.
But it's just like they did with the disses. You know what I mean? They just threw them out on Instagram. Yeah. Everybody went there to listen to them. You know what I mean? If you drop it, we gonna go listen to it.
Yeah.
Just put it on YouTube. You know what I mean?
I think it is tough to compare the level that those disses were at with a album throwaway though.
Yeah. It's like ready to cut. You were waiting for it. There's like eagerness.
It depends on who it is though. Like
I feel like Cole's done this though.
You know what I mean? Like Kendrick, the right person that does it, people are gonna go to check it out.
For sure.
Drake drop a new record on there, people are gonna go over there to listen to it. You know what I mean?
But how big do we have to be to drop throwaway shit on? Yeah,
that's up to you. Because it's really about your fans.
Yeah, true. I think multiple things about this from the perspective of like getting tired of material.
Yeah.
Like, all right, so I have 3 specific projects I'm working on right now. They're almost done, right? But on the same plane, I've got like me and Maja 7 and I have like 25 records with Skip.
Yeah.
That are just sitting right now. I don't know if those are ever going to see the light of day. Just because of exactly what you said.
I'm trying to talk him into it a little bit.
Well, we just need to have a conversation, but I'm just speaking to that, and I know a lot of artists that record just a bunch of records. Skip is one of them. He'll just write, record. He'll do a bunch of, he'll just power through them. I've always been an artist that like almost for the first like 5-6 albums that I put out, almost every single song I made it to a project. We just reworked that song over and over again until we liked it. Even if it meant remixing the beat completely or rewriting the chorus or whatever, like we would just work the hell out of a record. So we didn't have any throwaways.
Yeah.
So it's like two different interesting perspectives of like, it's probably honestly from a Kendrick perspective, it's probably just more efficient just to go through another idea because he's got endless resources and but
see, what you just displayed though is like the Kanye mode of like he'll drop a project and keep working the same records over and over until he
I think
likes
that's different. The way Kanye just drops it.
Yeah.
And then he's going to tweak it. I mean, because you have the opportunity to tweak it now while it's already out. I think what he's saying is until he tweaks it before he actually
people hear it.
Yeah.
Kanye does this. It's almost like how video games are not finished when you get them.
That's his thing. But like, I mean, to Double A's point, a lot of artists record stuff and they're just not in that space anymore. Like, Tyler, the Creator, has a clause that says if he passes away, you cannot release any of my music that I didn't release already. Yeah. So obviously he has a big catalog that we haven't heard. And if we don't hear it before he goes, then we're just not going to get it. Yeah. And it was the same way with Prince. I know he has a vault full of stuff that they're fighting for people to hear. But like in the same token, I don't want to hear stuff if it's not the way that the artist created. Right. I don't want to hear somebody else's interpretation of what I thought they wanted this to sound like.
You don't want another DMX album?
No.
Nah, I'm cool.
I just like, especially like with an artist like Kendrick Lamar that has 88 unreleased songs, like if these were 88 songs were like spectacular, we would probably hear them. Yeah. You know what I mean?
We don't know that, man.
Yeah. If it was that good, GNX could have easily been a double album if he had that many bangers left over. I don't think these are songs he recorded, but I don't think they're finished.
I don't think so either. So that brings up another question. What's the true value of these 88 unreleased songs? Byron, what do you think?
Man, to me, it's like the fine chick that won't give you none. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear nothing about it if you know what I mean? Like,
this is her waking up in the morning though, so she ain't put together yet.
No.
You still don't want to hear nothing about it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear nothing about it. If she fine to you, she fine to you. You're not worried about it in the morning or not.
Well, depends on who you talk to, but yeah, I see your point.
We talk about yeah.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense, but I mean, I don't know, man. And it kind of gives the fan, like people that actually listen to music as a fan versus
consumer.
Yeah. I'm listening to it different because I might, if you drop something and I don't like it, then I'm like, okay, that was just cool. You could have kept that, essentially. Just, I mean, everybody has an artist or a favorite artist that drops something that they don't necessarily like and they never go back to that. You know what I'm saying? And then we're not in a place anymore where somebody can drop something and it just completely eliminates you because you can just drop stuff anytime now. But back in the day, if you drop something, it could literally hurt your career.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case anymore.
No, it's not. But it still leaves a sour taste in your mouth when an artist that you rock with drops something and it's just like subpar. Like they hype you up. Case in example, the Joey Badass release this year. It was hyped up so much. He had a lot of steam going into it.
Never went back to it.
And when it came out, it was like, this is it, man.
Yeah, because he was coming off the beef.
Yeah. Stuff. Like he started a whole beef at the beginning of the year with everybody. I mean, how good he is. And he dropped the album and it's kind of like,
pooh,
I'm kind of cool on you now, man. Like you pretty much got to build all that shit back up now.
Yeah.
Does he though? I guess that's the question though, because if Joey Badass drops another record tomorrow, it's not going to deter me.
Yeah,
I'm
going to listen to it.
I feel like we're in an interesting space to where like, I honestly don't really think it matters to anything outside of this type of conversation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where we're like super analyzing like hip hop spaces of like, well, because Joey Badass dropped a dud over here, that means that he ranks number 96 on the scale instead of number 87 over here and stuff. I think outside of that, like, I'm going to check for Joey regardless.
I'm going to check for it, but I'm less excited about it. Another case in point, everybody knows I'm a big Kanye fan
Yep.
up until a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
So like he started dropping stuff that just was not the same quality of the artists that I rock with. So now if he drops something, it's kind of like I get to it when I get to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
But it got to that point though. Like I
Right.
feel like it's like you have to show consistency that you are just not carrying or putting
Mhm.
that in there, or you're just not hitting that mark anymore.
yeah.
I guess my question would be, how long are you willing to wait
Yeah.
for certain people? And if you get to a certain level, do you have, I'm assuming, the grace to make people wait longer versus
Mhm.
at a local level or, you know, semi-national level to where you're expected to drop more consistently because it helps you, even if it's not maybe album tier,
Sure.
but the consistency will help your name get out there versus a Kanye or a
Just-
J. Cole or Kendrick.
Yeah.
Just
where you can
feeding
make
the
people
streets.
wait. Yeah, exactly. You can make
Yeah.
people wait 5 years. And
I think it's all about, especially from a local level, to me, it's all about momentum.
yeah,
And once you lose that momentum, then you got to build it back up again.
for sure.
You don't really drop that momentum when you're Kendrick Lamar.
Nah.
You know, like Drake's never going to lose his momentum again for the rest of his life. People going, even if none of us like it, we still might
I was
check
gonna
it
say,
out.
like you said with Joey, he could drop a dud. I'm still
Yeah.
checking for it.
That's what I mean.
afterward. You know?
It's just, but from like a local level, building yourself up, you just don't have the cachet, you don't have the clientele to do that, and you know that it's consistency. It could be a word, but I like the word momentum
Yeah, for sure.
because I feel like momentum is a different type of thing in that space.
So if you consistently dropping ass,
Then then that's what you are,
yeah.
you know. But
But what if you give them some heat, and
I mean,
then
there's
you might give them some ass.
Sure.
But
then I think it depends on what type of
Okay.
But what outweighs what? I
Yeah,
guess.
you know what I'm
Well, it
saying?
depends
Yeah.
what type of artist you are, right?
Yeah.
It depends where you are in your journey. So, like, if we can tell as consumers of this music that this person is just throwing straws out at the least, you know, like, oh, I'm gonna make a record like to try to give these people. I'm gonna make a record to try to get these people, and we can tell that they're doing that. It's like I don't really. Why would I tap into you? Like, I want to tap into somebody who is
Your story.
maybe not as polished, but they are working to get closer to whatever they're getting to. And I think
Yeah.
that's genuinely how you build a fan base.
Yeah.
Is you be who you are.
Authenticity.
And,
Mhm.
Yep. And you grow it that way as opposed to just, I got these 900 songs. I mean, and now if they're all these 900 songs are you and it's just telling a story, I think it can work. It worked for Lil B.
Mhm.
Like it can work depending on like who you are. Like as long as like Double A says, as long as it's authentic. And so we're still kind of in this interesting content is king era right now, kind of, but I feel like we're leaning away from it, but I feel like authenticity and being who you are, I think is at the base level of it all.
To a
Yeah.
certain extent.
Yeah.
Because Wayne
Oh man,
dropped an album this year
Did he?
that literally nobody
Pooh.
talks about
Mhm.
because nobody liked it.
Yep.
And he
But they
stayed
listened to it.
he stayed true to himself. Consistently like style wise and
Yep.
Mhm.
the same artist, but it's not people are ready for more growth. So that kind of goes back to if you're recording these songs and you just want to give people something to give them, people are going to get to the point where they just don't care anymore.
I think you got to find that balance of what that is, you know? And I feel like Wayne, again, would, in my opinion, be on the other side of that. Like he's already established, you know, like if you're a young artist and you're developing whatever you're developing, you can go for a while. But even me, like I'm a huge Odyssey fan,
Mhm.
but his last album that he dropped, I was like, it is good. It's very good, but it kind of sounds like the last thing that he dropped.
Mhm.
And even me, who's a super fan of this guy and have been since he was dropping singles on low budget. If
Mhm.
you remember that record, like back in like 2005 and
Yeah.
stuff. Like
Ken
it just
Brown and
it
them.
just didn't move me as much. But I'm still gonna check him next time.
It's not consistent as.
I felt
It's not.
Well, I felt some like there was an artist that I'm a big fan of that was trending that way to me, which was Big Crit.
Crit. Yeah.
Yeah, and he
He's been-
just dropped some heat.
He's been dropping stuff recently.
Yeah, like this
Quietly.
this last project he just dropped this over the weekend.
Is it good?
It slaps. It's
Nice.
he went back to what I originally loved him for, music for the whip.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
If you got some bangs,
I think once you establish that authenticity at a certain type of level and you reach a certain plane, I don't know what that realm is
Yeah.
exactly, but once you reach it, you're always going to have somebody, even if you go off and do something experimental or that doesn't quite hit in the type same way, like you can always reach back to those people they're going to give you a little bit of grace, I think.
Man, it's just once you create a fan.
Yeah.
Once you create a fan and somebody that buys into your story, like we said, like we talked about Busta last week, the character.
Yep.
When somebody buys into your story, you always got a listener.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do we take it too far when we analyze artists and their creative process in this particular type of way, do you think?
I think we do. I think because sometimes we're so invested in not really the creative process, but what we want from that artist.
Yeah.
You know, we're like, well,
parasocial relationships.
Yeah, it's like, well, could you come on? Where are the give us these records, Kendrick? Like that, you know, for people who are just, you know, like I love Kendrick's music, bought all of his records, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, if that's your process, that's your process. But there are people who just want more from you.
Like Andre.
Yeah, in a way. You know, but then, you know, with the thing with Tyler, where he's like, you know, after I die, you know, don't start putting, you know, my sketches out, if you will. And I can super relate to that. Well, I mean, I can't relate to that because I'm not an artist, but, you know, when we started hearing the repackaged stuff that they gave us from Tupac, you know, official releases, and, you know, I was one of those people that heard those bootlegs, you know, and so when I hear, I know what Pac's life, what his vision for the song Pac's life was for, and then when I hear it with Ashanti on it, I'm like, nah, I'm good. You know, so I can completely understand why people want to be more protective over their unreleased work, whether they're alive or dead.
Yeah,
so
sure.
I mean, it makes sense to me, but I just think sometimes you have to be aware that just because they're not letting you hear it, it's not about an artist's selfishness. It's like, look, this doesn't fit my artistic vision. And quite honestly, yeah, it's technically a song, but it's not done.
But that's the thing, though. If I'm a fan of these artists, like, I'm interested in hearing all 88 of these songs from Kendrick. Just don't touch them. Like, if Kendrick, Lord forgive, Lord willing, this doesn't happen. But if Kendrick passed tomorrow and they have the opportunity to release them 88 songs, I'm going to want to hear them. Just don't touch them. Like, there's no reason I should hear a Tupac song with Eminem and Biggie.
Or
a
Kendrick Lamar song from GMX that features Tom McDonald.
Exactly.
That's terrible.
And Jelly Roll, like, you know, because there's somebody at the label that would try to hook that up.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, I can. That's okay with me. I personally, I don't know why I just don't care about hearing artist music outside of like what
they want
me to hear, but I just don't. It's just I don't know. It's just I can't. Maybe if I thought about it and meditated on it or something, I could come to the conclusion or something. But like, it just doesn't interest me. Even like the Mac Miller stuff that's come out recently, I've heard people praise it like they did it tastefully and stuff. But it's almost just kind of like, all right, he established his legacy. Let it just be what it is. You know, I don't know.
Just like I heard whispers about, you know, there's some D'Angelo music coming, and I really am not interested.
See that I'm actually interested
curious.
in hearing that.
There's a difference between being curious and interested.
Well, what if Quest don't touch it though? It's exactly.
But they actually had got some
I'd
stuff
be okay
done.
with Quest touching it though.
Yeah, because they work together, so they have things done. So in that case, that's a little different.
Okay,
because they actually had completed some things. So I'm interested to hear that.
Yeah.
Now, when you start again, like you brought up Tupac with Ashanti. Ashanti wasn't even out when Tupac died.
Right.
That's a little different in the whole Biggie duets thing and all of that weird shit that came out. And I mean, it still comes out to this day. You can buy verses from people that aren't here anymore and put them on your song if you want to.
Yes.
And I don't really care for that type of energy. So yeah.
You know what it could be, the future, which I really don't want to speak this into existence, but I'm going to.
AI.
Yep.
Sure, they probably already started doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drake did it.
True.
Yeah, he did. They
True.
made him take it down.
Good.
Yeah.
On Saturday, December 6th, none other than Andre 3000 presented the Odd Future founder with the Innovator of the Decade Award at Variety's Hitmaker event in Los Angeles. That person being Tyler, the Creator. While presenting the distinguished trophy, 3 Stacks praised Tyler's legacy and contributions over the last 10 plus years. as a true artist who remains dedicated to pursuing his creativity and pushing the envelope. So we have a little video here of Andre Benjamin talking, and then I have a couple questions we'll pose about this.
When you're in the zone, years can go by quickly because the next project is always the most important. Innovate yourself. I've had the pleasure of Tyler reaching out to me on a number of occasions and saying, hey, swing through, man. I want to play you the new album I'm working on. We'll ride around or sit in the driveway or in his living room and we'll just listen. To see his excitement, momentum, and passion, it's infectious. It's easy to see that he cares about what he's doing and that innovating himself is a constant. See, I have this theory, or hypothesis, whatever you want to call it, that all of the songs, films, and pieces of artwork, etc., are already out there, just a few feet above us all, and it only takes the person that consistently cares the most about them to jump up and receive them.
In an era dominated by social media, metrics, and metaverse hype, how much value do young creatives place on props from the elders, do you think?
None.
No?
Okay, there are a few. I can't say none because here's Tyler, getting his props from Andre 3000. But I mean, there's just such a youth push in hip hop right now, and there's no problem with that because honestly, that's what keeps the culture moving. But I think there's always just been this disconnect where it's like, oh, if the RZA came and said, "Hey man, I don't even want to use anybody's name because someone could see it as a slight. I like what you're doing." They wouldn't even know who the RZA is or what his contribution is. I think that disconnect, that's where the problem comes in a lot of times, because even if I'm someone who has sold a lot of records, have all these accolades, including the Grammys and the money, the things that you're aspiring to, because you can't connect with what I've done artistically in the past, what you have to say about what I've done doesn't mean what it should. I think there are people like Tyler who do have that appreciation for what someone like Andre 3000 done going back into the 90s. I think there are certain artists, I don't want to mention any of them because I could be wrong. Once again, not to slight or not to give anybody too many props, but I think once again, I do see so much of a youth movement right now who are really locked into their, vibe, quote unquote, that they almost don't want to be interrupted by the people who've accomplished things before them. I could be wrong, but that's just what I feel like I see.
Yeah, I think it kind of depends, man, because a lot of these artists always lean back to somebody that they looked up to at some point, I feel like, and got them interested in the game itself. You even hear about artists that may not be recording, they're working in the background always. Like there's people that, Kwame, for example. Mm-hmm. Kwame has been in the music business since the 80s. We haven't heard anything come out from him, but he's influenced stuff behind the scenes, whether it be production wise or mentoring and things of that nature up till now. So I think when you look at it in a lens of somebody that has to be in the forefront or like one of the main artists, and you got somebody that's coming up that doesn't really care about the game, then that's another talking point, because you have people that don't really care about rapping. They just want to get popular and famous and use, all of these apps and platforms to catapult themselves to something else. And when you talk about that type of artist, yeah, they might not hold another rapper to a higher regard versus somebody that's an artist, like a Tyler, the Creator, who is wanting to get the ear of Andre 3000. I think it kind of depends on what kind of career the artist wants to have, whether they reach back to the past and some of their favorite artists in order to kind of, give them props on what they did to kind of help them get where they're at.
Yeah. I think, if they looked up to that person growing up, that opinion from that artist means more than just another old head or older artist saying, giving their 2 cents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like, to me, my mind went to the example of like a J. Cole and Nas, where J. Cole dropped something and Nas disapproved initially, and it made him like go back to the drawing board, kind of reassess him releasing stuff that was him, authentic, or just for a radio hit,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think it only like so. The question was, does Andre 3000 cosign matter anymore?
It was more so like how much value do young creatives place on props from the elders?
So we're talking about the creatives and not the fans.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Then it means everything in the world. Then you know what I mean. Like, I thought initially you were talking about the fans, and I was like, nah, it doesn't really matter at all to the fans, just because at this point Tyler can give his own cosigns.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's an elder statesman in the game to, you know, he can give his own cosigns. Hell, I didn't see Playboy Cardi give a cosign.
Yeah. But Tyler seems to always reach back. I mean, he had the Gangsta Grills album.
Yeah, for sure. Pharrell.
I mean, that's like his favorite producer artist ever. You can hear the elements in the music. And that's another thing too. A lot of the artists that reach back or really studied music, you can always hear the elements of them in that artist. I mean, it's not like a bite, so to speak, but it's like you can hear that influence coming out in their music. And like you said, how J. Cole talked about Nas being his guy, and we talked about Kendrick with Tupac as his guy. I don't know. I think the props are given from the right artists. I'll say that. You know?
Is this a hip hop passing the torch type of thing happening here with Andre to Tyler? And number two, do we even care?
Nah.
No.
Okay.
But it definitely is a passing the torch.
But what does that even mean?
Yeah. I don't think the only time I've really seen anyone just get past the torch is when I remember Snoop and Kendrick. This is the next guy. He's going to be the one to take the West Coast into the future. Other than that, like, people get the torch snatched from them.
Come on, man.
You know, you wake up one day and you look on your nightstand and be like, wait a minute, where's that torch I had?
You lost the juice.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's a real thing. Like, it's just because somebody says, "Oh, here's my torch," like, anybody can take it.
Yeah.
It's just there's a bunch of torches out there. Everybody can take their torch and run. So
it really doesn't matter. I mean, if anything, it's just honorable that an artist like that would have anything nice to say or you know what I'm saying, actually takes the time to listen to. He's one of his peers at the end of the day. Yeah. He's an OG, but it's still one of his peers. So.
Yeah,
and he's at the level where he doesn't have to do shit like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, that's just something cool to do, man. I don't, like you said, the whole passing the torch type of situation. Yeah, nah. I mean, because Andre's not recording anything right now, so.
And I don't even know if Tyler's at the point where he needs the torch passed to him.
No.
Not for your ears. He might be.
I don't even think
something.
the torch would even mean anything if it was passed to him. Like,
that's true.
We make our own torches.
Yeah.
Like, we cut our own trees.
Hey, I like that. That's a word. We need to end it on that.
You are now listening to the New Old Heads podcast. Our official 1-hour episode is released every Saturday at noon Eastern, but we share the exclusive uncut 2-hour episode to our Patreon members early every Wednesday. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Bringing Down the Band, and most importantly, you. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads, where we embrace the new, respect the old, and remain ahead. Method Man said no to Drake. Hip-hop legend Method Man revealed on the 7 p.m. in Brooklyn podcast that he turned down an offer to feature on Drake's 2013 track Wu-Tang Forever. It's kind of crazy to me. I didn't think that song was that old.
2013.
That's what it says here.
Yeah. That's what his third album?
Nothing was the same.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But so Method Man's decision to prioritize the feel and name of the song over a sure hit from the biggest artist in the world is a powerful old school move that validates the idea of brand preservation. So let's watch this little clip here, and then I have a couple questions here.
I like Drake.
Yeah.
You know, I like Drake. I think he's a dope artist. He puts out some great music, obviously, or else he wouldn't be as big as he is.
Mm-hmm.
But when he sent the record, we were overseas. He did send the record. You know, certain brothers were trying to write to it and shit, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't like it. You become jaded when you've been in the business for a long time. So,
especially
for me,
y'all.
Right. So for me, it's like big artists and nah.
If I'm not feeling it, I'm just not going to do it.
I think that's how it should be. But beyond that, we have kind of normalized this idea that, and not, when I say we, I mean in general, that the Drake feature is the golden ticket for any rapper, if you will. At least that's what it was for a while, right? So by rejecting that, did Method Man expose that the quote-unquote Drake stimulus package is actually a trap? where the smaller artist gets a moment of clout, but the bigger artist walks away with your cultural credibility, because we've known that's kind of what Drake has also done.
He was already stamped. I don't think he needed. I think Drake was paying homage to them.
Sure.
And I don't think he needed to have that quote unquote smaller artist Drake golden ticket. I think he was at the place in his career where he can be like, if it didn't sound like a Wu record for one at all.
No.
So it didn't really make sense sonically with them on it. But I think he was at the point where he didn't have to, take that ticket per se.
No. Whether he did it or not, it was not going to affect his career, whether positively or negatively, in my personal opinion. And like you said, it doesn't fit the Wu-Tang aesthetic as far as the sound of the song. So like, I feel like you shouldn't just take any feature just because this artist is said artist and we're going to put this out and it's going to do good just because this artist is on it. You know what I'm saying?
Just playing devil's advocate. He ain't like the beat. What if we got a whack meth verse? And then it's forever a Drake song with a whack meth verse on it.
Come on, man. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, LL Cool J talked about him and Michael Jackson have a song together that has never seen the light of day. I don't feel like these artists are in a position to where they're chasing a hit to get on, because they're already on. They're already megastars at this point. It doesn't affect their career in any way to where a Drake would be a stimulus package to Wu-Tang Clan. They sell shirts in Target. You know what I'm saying?
So with that being said, let's flip the script a little bit. If it was a buzzing underground artist and they made the same choice as that today, choosing quote unquote the sonic fit over a Drake cosign, would we praise their integrity, or would the culture label them an idiot for fumbling the bag?
The latter.
The latter for sure.
Yeah.
So
if Drake sent me the worst beat of all time, I'm hopping on it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately,
there you go. A certain level of honesty just has to come through, guys.
I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Yeah. For real. I mean, and that makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
You think about the first time I heard a Lil Baby song was a Drake. Drake was featured on the song. And we seen what that did to his career.
You could even argue Migos to an extent.
Migos. Who else?
McConan.
Well, his career didn't pan out very well.
I mean, but the only song we know is that song with Drake on. Yeah.
JB Block Boy.
Yeah, I mean, it makes, as a newer artist, a Drake cosign means a lot. But like, I mean, even Kendrick was on a Drake song at some point before, you know what I'm saying, the latter years and the beef and things of that nature happened. It means something when you're at a certain level in your career.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't mean anything when you're at a certain level in your career. So, yeah.
Did you have something to say, Byron?
Yeah, it's to your detriment a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Like, you get on the song with Drake, he absorbs your infinity stone and goes on about his business, and then we never hear from you again.
Yeah.
You know, it's worked more. It's worked in other people's favor more than it hasn't, but you really have to determine where you're at in your career when you do it. You know what I mean?
You've even seen that with Kanye and Designer.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we talked about that.
What level of pandering is it? What level of
Panda?
Yeah. Like, for example, in an era where modern artists treat legendary names as mere aesthetics or vibes, if you will, which is kind of what this was, because if it's not a Wu-Tang record and you're trying to get Wu-Tang on it, it's kind of disrespectful in a way. But was Method Man's refusal a necessary act of gatekeeping to prevent his group's legacy from being turned into a costume? And where exactly is that line, though, right? Because like Double A, you just said, if Drake sends something, I'm going to hop on it. What is that line for you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's just a level of success.
Yeah.
And I feel like Meth, even though Drake is the bigger artist, I feel like he looks at Drake as a younger, you know, somebody who's beneath him as far as experience. Yeah, right. A kid. Exactly. Yeah. So I guess in my mind, if we're doing hypotheticals, I wonder if the Wu-Tang Forever beat would have been a boom bap Wu-Tang type beat, if Meth would have felt the same way.
Right.
But we'll never know.
Yeah.
I really do think when Meth says it was about the beat.
Yeah.
Or it wasn't, I'm not trying to write to that. I really think that's what it was. Because it's not like he said, Drake is whack and I don't F with him.
Right.
It's
Well,
not
he
like,
started the whole thing off with like,
giving
I
him
like
props.
Drake.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it was just like, hey, this isn't fit for me. Like, I don't know what the bag was to hop on the record, but it wasn't enough for him to say to try to fit himself in a box that doesn't make sense for him.
And I think too, also like Drake became what Drake is, especially after the beef and everything that we've witnessed. But like there was a time where hip hop wasn't so anti Drake. Like there was a time where he fit within that scope.
And that was the time.
And that was the time.
Yeah.
You know, he did go out of his way to put a lot of artists on. And to your point, Byron, to absorb their Infinity Stones. You know, like that. In hindsight, we can see that. But like, I mean, he did put a lot of people on. So
the issue was just the song, like because he starts the song off singing. It was an R&B song that he just happened to rap on. You know what I mean? Now I don't see that song actually working for Meth, but I think he just chose the wrong artist. Because I tell you, who would have shitted on that was Ghost.
Yeah.
If Ghostface would have got on there, he probably would have shitted on it.
What's crazy is Meth said they was all together in another country. So I'm interested to hear what Ghost says about it because I mean they all got the record and nobody jumped on it.
Were y'all surprised when y'all first heard a record called Wu-Tang Forever and what it sounded like?
I went straight to that record when I saw it, and I was like,
it was immediately what I went for, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
What if it was like called Wu-Tang Forever with Drake, but it was like featuring Capadonna and Master Killer?
I think there's a version with a couple members of the Wu on it somewhere.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
I can't. I think I heard it at some point in time, but I'm not sure. Yeah, man. Hell.
On the flip side, do you think it would have been worth it for Drake? I mean, obviously hindsight's 2020, but if Meth had told him, "Hey, bro, I don't like the beat,"
right? Would he did something different?
Yes. Yeah. Do you think it would have been worth it for him to cater to them to get them on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have made sense. I feel like
because the song was still a hit.
Yeah, it was a hit, but I feel like the reason why Drake even called it Wu-Tang Forever, it was to pull in a different demographic, even though he wasn't getting the features. Like we said, when the album came out, I'm gonna go listen to that song.
Yeah.
And once it was like, this don't even fit what Wu-Tang Forever even meant. So I feel like he was trying to chase some more fans, get some more ears on his music.
I think that's all that it was, and I think that's why it sits wrong with me.
I think it's only called Wu-Tang Forever because it got that "It's Your" sample in it.
That's probably true.
Yeah, he was reaching to, you know what I'm saying, to even call it that off of that sample.
Yeah.
But we've known like he's also like that this is what he chases. He's always chased, you know, like he is just chasing popularity, and he always has done
and
that.
Validation.
I would say hip hop credibility.
And hip hop credibility, you know, buying all the stuff up, doing that thing. That's the entire Kendrick beef was essentially that's kind of one of the center pieces to that. You know what I mean? And this just kind of highlights it even further. You don't think so?
No, you're right.
Yeah. So I don't know. It just seems like more of the same, but it is interesting to hear Meth say, you know, I like Drake.
Yeah.
You know, sound like DMX. And I like, except for the opposite.
Hey, the way he walks, the way he talks.
But even this is the thing, like Method Man, there are other people who would have made a different kind of business decision. You know, Method Man is lucky in the way that not only does he have all the records he sold, but he also has a position in Hollywood to where, you know, he doesn't have to rap to eat.
Yeah.
And, you know, I've made mention of that on several episodes. And, you know, there are people who make different decisions for different reasons.
Yep.
And I don't think Method Man at this point is making any hip hop decisions out of financial obligation. And so, you know, because some people would have been like, oh, yeah, let me hurry up and get on the radio. And this would be a nice press run for me. And Method Man is like, yo, I'm already booked and busy in my own lane right over here.
Yeah.
You know, and I have no problem with someone who said, no, I would have done that regardless.
Yeah.
You know, so I can open up some lanes for myself. Sometimes you just can't think about it like if you're smart, you're not just thinking about, like, especially after what we've seen, okay, he's going to take my Infinity Stone and then I'm going to be left out here looking bummy. It's like, no, I need to take advantage of
the
this
situation.
additional visibility.
Yeah. And monetarily, the fallout from that feature, if you're a smaller artist, is getting booked, you know.
Yep. It's potentially life-changing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the other thing. I think the interesting thing about it too now is like 2003 Drake or 2013 Drake is different than 2025 Drake. I wonder, with everything that's happened within especially the last few years, how artists would approach this and Drake in this particular area. Like, I don't know. I mean, for me, I don't know if I would do it at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Back then, I feel like Drake had a little bit more cultural cachet to where like I feel like he aligned with me a little bit more. Now I don't feel like he aligns with like who he is in general. Like I don't think I would. I mean, I still might do it. You know what I mean? But I would feel dirty.
You gonna send him a beat?
Nah, I think it really depends on who you are.
Yeah.
Like the people that have solidified themselves in the industry, they're not really worried about that Drake cosign anymore. But again, Playboy Cardi,
Lil Baby,
Big Boogie.
Yeah.
All of these artists, if Drake asked them to come get on there, they're going to get on there. Thug.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I was about to say.
Gunna. All of these people could use that Drake stimulus package right now.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's still Drake.
Yeah. That's the other piece.
You know, you still look at the end of the year streaming numbers. Who's there? Right there at the top.
Mm-hmm.
On everybody.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, granted, allegedly.
I mean,
Yes,
Spotify put them out, so
there's a lawsuit.
Yeah.
I think him and Future might do another record eventually.
I don't know about that. I bet you never know.
Yeah,
I mean,
you never know.
You don't.
Him and Meek ended up doing another song together.
This is true.
Yeah, it's almost like looking at from an artist perspective. It's like looking at Drake not as like a collaboration, but more so as like a business move.
Yeah.
Like this is. I'm just doing this because this is going to elevate my business, not necessarily be a part of my catalog. I don't know.
And honestly, right now, a lot of these artists might help him.
Yeah, potentially.
You know
I think depending on who he works with.
Yeah, that might help him.
I think it really matters of whether or not the machine gets behind Drake like it once did. You know what I mean?
Think so?
Yeah, because that's ultimately what catapulted him to the successful level.
But I feel like at this point in time, we always talk about NBA YoungBoy and how his numbers are. He's not really part of a big machine like that. Drake, at the end of the day, again, is Drake. So, like, he's on a record label that he's suing. I mean, it's still in litigation right now, but he's still under contract, and they still want him to bring in income.
Yeah, he still has to be an earner.
Yeah, so I feel like it doesn't matter. Even if they push it or not, Drake's at the point in his career where it doesn't matter if they push it.
I feel like he lost. He took a kind of a cultural hit in a way.
He did.
Yeah.
And I feel like he could benefit from getting people that ride more for the culture as opposed to the product side of hip hop on his side. I feel like that would benefit him. Then again, it depends on how you look at it too, because if you only care about the product, which he is that's all he really cares about, why would he even do that if you...
What if Drake went out of his way to do, he's like, hey, I really want to do, that's a missed opportunity for me. I really want to have a song with Method Man and Ghost and Inspector Deck on it. Would we look at it a certain way because of where he is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, I would.
We're never getting that Drake all rap album that we thought we were going to get.
I think he's just been exposed for the product that he is. And
so it's good. We even if he does something where we're like, okay, I might be able to rock with that, it's still going to be like, well, he did that because
it's still corny.
There's a credibility gap there.
There's always an asterisk.
Yeah. That's crazy.
He can definitely right his wrongs and go ahead and just do something with Little Brother if they want to do something with him.
They retiring. Fonte's DJing now. Like,
it's a wrap.
Yeah. I mean,
so he missed that window as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's retiring, but I do know he started DJing, and I've noticed a trend of rappers who start to DJ stop rapping. So I don't know if that's the thing.
They DJ, they get their own podcast. They move on.
And he's been through a podcast already.
He's already done that.
Oh, that's crazy. That's actually 2 of them.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll want to hear that Fonte Drake.
You don't want to hear it?
Collab at
I'd
this
rather
stage.
just hear Fonte.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does more for... Well, no, that's not true. I was going to say it does more for Drake than it does for... But that's a lie straight out of the pit of hell.
Yeah, it's just not true. That's why we feel some type of way about the fact that he never reached out and did anything with Fonte.
Sada Baby says no to Eminem's influence in Detroit. So recently, Sada Baby laid out his position without hesitation, saying Eminem's legacy is undeniable on paper, but complicated on the ground where he and other local artists built their careers. So a quote was, "You don't hear everybody that comes out of Detroit screaming Eminem or praising Eminem unless it's Big Sean or Royce the 5'9", realistically, because it's Big Sean. He ain't did shit with nobody that got the same skin color as us."
Damn.
So
In Detroit.
That's the thing.
Okay.
let me pose the question here.
All right.
So how do we navigate the uncomfortable reality that the face of Detroit hip hop globally is white, while the ground, if you will, is predominantly black? Does that create an inherent disconnect?
Maybe to the world, but not to the city of Detroit. That's the issue. That's the difference between the two. Eminem left Detroit and got hot. You know what I mean? He just happened to get with the biggest producer in the world.
Yep.
And that's what catapulted him to superstardom. Sada, I Swear Vezo, Peasy,
42 Doug.
42 Doug, but Payroll Giovanni. You know what I mean? All of these guys, they got it out the streets of Detroit. They didn't really get anything from the Eminem tree. That is the real Detroit sound right now. You know what I mean? So I get what he's saying, but Eminem is the face of Detroit hip hop, man. Unfortunately, you know what I mean? And quiet as kept, nah, I might not even say Eminem is the face of Detroit hip hop to me. To you, yeah. Dilla is the face of Detroit hip hop. You know what I mean?
Like, to me as well. But
but I mean, we're in a different space, though. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking at it from a lens of people that were introduced to Detroit as a whole,
it's a different generation.
Yes, it's definitely a different generation. But like, we already know the type of star that Eminem is. So like, I wouldn't necessarily say he represents Detroit in that manner. He's just a very good rapper that's from Detroit. I wouldn't necessarily say he's the face of it. I mean, he could be the face of a lot of things musically. When I think of Detroit, I don't even think of hip hop. I think of Motown.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Or techno.
Like the jit music, like that. You know, this stuff. And I can't stand that music, but I understand the connection it has to Detroit.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I can understand maybe his frustration, knowing that the Detroit sound isn't necessarily representative of Eminem. Again, like you said, Eminem got on from Dr. Dre, who obviously is a West Coast producer and was the biggest producer at that point in time.
But Terry, who is Dr. Dre's a lot of his influences?
I mean, it's Midwest,
right? So technically, it still is Midwest.
It's still Midwest,
but it's not Motown.
But it's not Motown. Yeah. It's like, some of the funk elements are Motown.
Yeah, but he sampled, some Motown on those DLC.
Parliament recorded their albums there in Detroit.
That is true. Yeah, I mean,
it's the streets. It's the streets versus.
Yeah, that's the piece.
Because they don't rap like Eminem.
No, they talk about the street shit that happens in Detroit.
But even from Trick, he messed with Eminem, and they kind of use him as
extortion.
The person that you have to check in with when you come to the city. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, because I remember when I got a Trick album through the record pool, and at this point I had never heard. This is a while ago. It was like 20 years ago. And I was looking at the features. I said, Eminem. How did this guy I've never heard of get a feature with Eminem? I mean, and then someone was like, oh yeah, they're both from Detroit. I was like, well, I don't want to say that doesn't mean anything, because there's a lot of people from certain places that won't do our records with people, but
no fly zone.
So Sada seems to have respect for Trick for his presence in Detroit. Is a presence more valuable than a record deal in the eyes of the city? Do you think?
I think so.
Especially like when I think about Indianapolis, even in the way that I look at it, because when I think about artists that have maybe kind of more global reach, there are a handful of them, but they didn't come up through the city.
Mm-hmm.
I have a different perspective in view of those artists than I do those that actually built within what's built here.
Yeah.
Especially if they're going to call themselves from a place.
No, I agree.
Why can't Kid Rock be the face of
Come
hip-hop?
on now. Don't get Jay started.
What do you think, Double A? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm just trying to wrap my brain around the fact that, like, well, say, because part of me thinks, like, obviously the sound, Detroit sound, as you said earlier, isn't represented by Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder, you know, because I think if Eminem was black and rapped the same way, it still wouldn't be the Detroit sound.
Sure. Nope.
And I think that if he was white and rapped with more of how the current sound is, then maybe they would not have the same view.
Right.
It's just, it's to me, it's also a little bit of like being Michael Jordan's son, where you have this undeniable global impact from somebody like Eminem. And then anything that comes beneath it from that tree is always going to be overshadowed by that bigger entity.
Yeah.
So yeah, that has to be super frustrating for somebody like a Sada Baby or any of these other Detroit kind of ground street guys who clearly have a buzzing sound, but can't necessarily escape the shadow if they want to rep Detroit while also distancing themselves from what type of sound Eminem has created.
And I think another interesting piece to that too, then you can jump in, but like a lot of Eminem's fan base isn't necessarily like a hip hop fan base.
Exactly.
You know, so that's another piece.
No, that's the complicated thing whenever we talk about Eminem here.
Yeah.
Is okay, because there are people who are diehard Eminem fans who don't listen to any other hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of them probably reside in Detroit and they identify with what Eminem does. But if you said, hey, let's check out the Sada Baby record, they'd be like, no, we're good. I'm not saying there is no, you know, overlap in that Venn diagram, but, you know, with Eminem, and plus, like, you got to remember, Eminem, this is, you know, he started making music in, at least that I was aware of, in the 90s. You know, it's hard for these kids who probably weren't even alive when, you know, Just Don't Give a came out. You know, they don't care anything about, you know, the stuff that Eminem did and him on stage with Elton John. Like that is ancient history to them. Like we talked, just like when I talked about the disconnect between the props that you would get for somebody in you know, previously on the show. Like, it's like Eminem is like, he might as well live in like the Emerald City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because first of all, he's made so much more money than, you know, the average rapper. And he's had so much more success. I mean, it's a relatability problem. Just over, even if Eminem came to 8 Mile on a regular basis just to show love and say what up, I mean, I don't think it would make a difference just because the music doesn't connect.
Yeah.
He still lives there.
Yeah. I mean, but at the same time,
No.
I can't even say. I was going to try to compare it because, you know, who was really selling record, you know, M Pimp Juicing Us, to where, you know, St. Louis has his own complicated relationship with Nelly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there are some people there that F with him as an innovator and somebody who brought light to the city. But then there's some people on him, but he's like, well, he brought light to the city, but he shined the light all on himself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't.
That's not fair, though.
I don't think it's fair either. I really don't. I mean, because there are other people that were able to go ahead and make a way for themselves, even in that era, whether it been Jaquan, whether it been Chingy, like all these people had a certain level of success, you know, outside of the Nelly family tree, if you will.
I was about to say, he didn't shine the light all on himself. He brought his team with him.
I mean, as long as you don't ask Ali, but everybody else would be like, hey, man,
That's your fault, bro.
I did what I could.
You had the opportunity. You put out an album.
He put out a couple albums.
Yeah,
Remember,
you know what I
Ali and Gip and his solo album. So
yeah, you had an opportunity. It just didn't hit for you the same way. You mad at that man.
you know, so when we take it back to Eminem, I don't even think there's, like I said, it's like, hey, look, I'm from Detroit. I rep Detroit. But does Eminem even have a tree?
Yes.
D12?
Yeah, D12.
Okay. All right. You're very right.
But then it kind of stops there,
Yeah, I
though,
was gonna
really.
say,
I mean,
think-
maybe Obi Trice.
Mm-hmm.
Denine Porter.
That's a D12.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
I think
Royce.
this current
Royce.
this
well,
current sound, it wasn't even like
Nah.
a thing then.
Yeah.
For
It's
what
like-
Detroit is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brand new.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
And they want a new face for that.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I
just
don't know.
like, so the difference between the two is like, Sada, you don't have the same machine behind you that
True.
Eminem did. You know what I mean? He had the biggest people in the industry
Interscope.
behind him, man.
You know
You know
what I'm
what I
saying?
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And let's not forget he was a white dude on TRL.
yeah,
Like,
man.
that was a
It's
lot.
just like you Sada, you might be the face for
the new generation.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It's different, you know, but
I think it's also tough having not only a monumental superstar represent your city, but also knowing that you'll never have the essentially white privilege that an Eminem had on his come up route. You know,
like
there's
that's just not a thing.
Yeah.
No,
I think
because he stuck out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
I feel like every artist wish and aspires to have the same trajectory that Eminem had. You know what I'm saying? I get it that this is the face that you feel like everybody sees when you talk about Detroit, Sada Baby being, but I don't know. There's nothing that you can do that's going to erase that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like at this point, it should just be something that you don't even really care about. You have to pretty much carve your own lane and make your own image kind of stand out, because I mean, you're going up against a giant when it comes to music, period. If you're wanting to be looked at in the same lane as an Eminem, whether it be Detroit or the United States.
So you guys have made this point. Like, this is bigger than Eminem when you talk about Detroit. Like, Detroit's musical legacy is extremely rich. Yeah. Like, that's a hard. Eminem's might not even be the top. And you know what I mean? Like,
that's why I said I think about Motown at the end of the day. When I think about Detroit, musically, it always points to Motown. It doesn't even point to rap or hip hop.
It literally spawned techno. Like, it's like an entire genre. You know what I mean? So it's super rich when you talk about that. And then there's multiple sections of hip hop too. And then when you talk about when you talk about family trees, when you talk about Dilla's, like what Dilla.
The whole SV. Look,
Slum Villages, to be honest, Slum Villages or Dilla's tree might be greater than Eminem's.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah, definitely, because it reached outside of Detroit.
Yeah. I mean, maybe not from a popularity standpoint, from like an individual face that we can see, but impact is like crazy. Do you think, kind of piggyback off that, do you think the artist's responsibility is to the talent, if you will? Like in this Sada Baby discussion where he mentioned, he's never done anything with any of us, blah, 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 blah. Is the responsibility based on talent or curation or geography?
That's
like loyalty.
That's a lot.
It's absolutely a lie.
Yeah, because I was about to say on Eminem's last project,
it's a lie.
He had a song where he brought all them niggas on the record. I can't. He had women. I think Cash Doll was on it. Sean.
But for whatever reason, with Sada Baby, it didn't seem like he felt very warmly toward Big Sean for whatever reason.
Like him for some reason. Like.
Hey man, God bless.
I mean,
man.
It's not a true statement, but I do think that at the same time, like maybe there's a little bit of merit in.
Or maybe a little salt.
That's what I mean. Maybe it's just that.
Yeah,
too.
like
he didn't help me.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's not down for the town.
You think he gonna help you? You keep talking shit?
Well, no, definitely not now.
Shut the hell up. Yeah, just do your things behind the scenes. You know, Trick, you got love for Trick. Have Trick make them
have a conversation.
Yeah, Trick, and Royce. I know Royce.
Yeah.
No, Ross ain't messing with none of them Detroit cats because
he got run out of town.
Yeah, they took his flight pass.
But what do you think? Is there a responsibility? Does Eminem have a responsibility here? Does hip hop artists have a responsibility to?
No.
Is it more so? Do they have let me rephrase this. If you're, what responsibility does someone have to help out the area that they're from?
I say yes and no. You know what I mean? Like it is.
And what does that look like?
I say it is. If you want the light to continue to shine on Detroit, it's only right with you being the star that you are as Eminem to pass the proverbial torch.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that torch.
Yeah. Like, hey man, look, this is the new sound of Detroit. Here's Sada Baby. You know what I mean? Like, here is 42. Here's Peas. What's the dude named?
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Girl, you know you fine.
No, I don't remember
What's
his
the dude name, man? I don't remember.
I know you know all their names, man.
Yeah,
because they were popping on his computer on Friday night.
Yeah. Like I know these kids. You know what I mean? But unfortunately, it's not something that I listen to regularly. But I do know when these records are connected.
Yeah,
I can see
I get that.
You know what I mean? So Detroit hip hop it's actually club scenes right now. You could play a good 30, 45 minutes of nothing but Detroit music.
You ain't gonna play not one Eminem song.
Yeah.
And that's always been the case. But I mean, again, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where we actually had the conversation about, does an artist have the responsibility to go back and pick up artists on the way? You got to realize, like you said, Eminem has been out since the 90s, late 90s. I feel like he talked about D12 and other artists from the city, Obi Trice. Royce obviously was in his own lane, but once him and Eminem kind of, you know what I'm saying, reconciled their differences or whatnot, they made music together again. Yeah. So I feel like at this age, Eminem has contributed to the scene in Detroit, and that the artists that he kind of helped put on is on them now.
We can look at this from a communal standpoint or an individualist standpoint. I tend to look at this from more of a communal standpoint, and I feel like it's a net positive for the place that you're from and the people that I'm around, the thing that helped me grow into who I am, to put back into that community and that particular type of piece. And I feel like there's a lot of value in that. And so when I look at it from this angle, I feel like it's important, and I always advocate for artists to, and anybody who is doing things similar to like what Mike Epps is doing stuff in the same way. You know, like I like to see when people are like putting back into the place that they're from. I don't necessarily think that anybody has an individual responsibility. You know, like to your point about Eminem, he's already paid his dues. He's already done that. But it doesn't mean that there are people that are in between Eminem and where Sada Baby is that couldn't take that role and have done it as well, you know? And I feel like we have seen that. I've seen Royce has done some stuff like that, you know, but I think we can't have people just like, you can't have like an endless list of like, oh man, all right, let me come back. And
my job now is to keep putting people on.
Like I don't necessarily believe in that, but I do, you know, like the foundation and the building up of an area, and especially growing something. I don't know. I think that's important.
Well, if somebody, you know, once again, I'm not sure when Eminem is ever interviewed or whatever. I don't know. He doesn't do a lot of media availability.
He just played Thanksgiving. He performed at the football game.
But, you know, if someone were to ask Eminem, like, oh, who do you like right now? And say, well, you know, it's a dude from my city named Peasy. Like that go a lot. Like at least do that. You know, at least say who you like coming up and they're from your city. Because a lot of times, like especially in this record, you know, creating environment as far as business is concerned, that's about all you can do.
It is, but then they'll say, well, that wasn't enough.
Nah.
Like,
that's why a lot of people don't help you.
That's what I'm saying. Say he got signed to Shady, or some of these artists got signed to Shady, and they felt like Eminem didn't do everything that he should have did to put them in a position.
Sure.
Now they're upset with him about that. So it's kind of like a damn if you do, damn if you don't.
It feels that way. So I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, what's his name? West Side.
Yeah. The whole thing they had with Griselda.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if he's from Detroit or from Saginaw, Flint, one of them. But like, I think Emmett and BFB Pac-Man, if they was to do something together, man, that would probably be pretty dope, man. Because Pac-Man is pretty damn funny, man.
Oh yeah,
not even tip. No.
Yeah, he's a portly man.
That's just a kind way to say it.
Yeah,
he's a portly individual.
Yeah, he has lots of humor in his raps.
Gotcha.
Not like
it's like a funnier street bazaar.
Oh.
Okay,
it's not like Dave Blunt's portly.
No. That's obese.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he's morbidly obese.
Okay.
Yeah, he's oxygen tank from death.
Okay.
Damn.
Yeah.
Just one of them.
Just one. Hey.
So he doesn't need to sit on a couch the entire time.
He does. Yeah.
Okay.
He needs the shot. He needs a vat of Ozempic.
I thought you was about to say man.
Not a vat.
Yeah, no, like, is that the unit of measurement for Ozempic?
Yeah. A vat.
Yeah, he needs an IV, Ozempic IV.
Here's a desk of
yeah,
right. Let's shift.
That's a wrap on episode 465 of the New Old Heads podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hop on our Patreon, and so you can get the full episode a couple days early with special guest Double A. Once again, like and subscribe. This is the New Old Heads. Get involved.
Peace.